Hello friends, welcome to the next session now on perceptron implementation. In the previous lecture we saw simple neural networks, the input layer, the output layer, the activation function and all. Today we'll talk about implementing a simplest neural network with a single perceptron. Fine. To implement this, what we need is we need to work on Anaconda platform. So first I'll show you how to install Anaconda and then how to write the program on it. So this is the website you can directly visit and download Anaconda. Fine. Once you download it, you can open the Anaconda Navigator. And what we select here is we will be working on Jupyter Notebook. We'll be working on Jupyter Notebook. So you can just click on launch. Once you click on launch, this is the screen what will appear. Fine. With all these details, what you need to do is just click on new. So once you click on new, select Python 3. Fine. And as soon as you click on Python 3, this is the interface what will open. You can click here and you can change the file name. Fine. This is a simple notebook interface. Is it clear? So before you start with the program, make these things ready and then you start typing the program. Now, perceptrons, as we know, are very simple. So what we'll do is we'll start with the simplest perceptron, and the simplest one then will be what we'll be doing is we'll be implementing the logic gates. So the two basic logic gates and an OR gate will be working on. So here if you want to implement an AND gate or an OR gate, what we do is we can create perceptrons which will act like gates, which will take two binary inputs and it will give a single binary output. Fine. This is the AND gate and this is the OR gate with two binary inputs A and B and the output Y. Fine. Okay. Now, once we write the program, this is an interface what is already written. This is just to show you all when you are typing it in the Jupyter Notebook, how it will look like. And when you're executing it, you just need to click on run. So once you click on run, this is the output what is displayed. Is it fine? So what we have done here is we implemented an AND gate. I'll discuss all of these in detail in the next slide. This is just to show you the interface and how to execute it. Once you type execute here and the output will be displayed here. The next code you can write here. Now, whenever you are running it, whenever you want to run your code, you keep your cursor in that particular block. See, these are the blocks. Keep it in that particular block and you click on run, it will get executed. Okay, now let us look at the program in detail. The very first thing is importing a Python library. What we'll be importing? We'll be importing NumPy. NumPy is a library which will help you in all numerical functions in Python. So the very first thing we'll be writing import numpy as np. See if you can just see it here. I've already written here import numpy as np. Fine. Now, once the import is done, next is what? We'll be having an activation function. So here activation function what we are using is a simple unit step function. So we define this here with the input is the input function is an input to this function. So if b is greater than 0, you return 1, else you return greater than or equal to 0, then you return 1, else you return 0. Fine. This is a simple activation function. Next, what we have is a perceptron model. So we define our model. What our model will have? It will have an input, it will have weight, and it will have a bias. So input vector, weight vector, and bias. So how do we create v? V is nothing but our input function, what is given as an input to the step function. So input is nothing but input function. What it does, we already know in the previous lecture we have seen. It does the product of weight and the input and adds a bias to it. So np dot, it will do the inter product of two vectors, weight and input vector, and it will add bias to it. So output is nothing but the input function, and input function is passed to the activation function, that is unit step function, and it will give you the output. Is it clear? Fine. Again, I say V is our input function. How it is calculated? It is the product of the weight and the input plus bias. Okay. And this input function is then output is given as input to the activation function, where activation function is step function. and the output is stored as y, and what you return is an output after applying an activation function to the input function. Next, after doing this, we need to have a logic for our AND gate. So we assume here, again I repeat, we assume weight as W1 as 1, W2 as 1, and bias as minus 1.5. Now, how do we define AND logic? So what we are giving here input is an X, that is our input vector. Fine. And for this input, what we have a weight vector as 1, 1, as we already decided, 1 and bias as minus 1.5. And then what we are returning? We are returning perceptron model. That means it will call this function with what parameters? X is the input vector. W vector is now what? 1, 1. That is our weight vector. And what will be the bias? Bias is 1.5. So as soon as this data is passed, it will come here and it will execute this and it will return y. So let us see how do we test the perceptron model. So first we input first input. So we just call first input, we store it in test1 vector with the data 0 and 1. Our first input is x1 is 0 and x2 is 1. So when this test1 is an input vector which is passed to the logic and logic function, right? What we are passing and logic to test1. So end logic means it will come here. What is x? X is 0 and 1. Fine. When it comes here, we are creating a weight vector with the value 1, 1. So here x1 weight will be 1 and x2 weight will be 1. What is x1? X1 is 0, x2 is 1, two inputs. Now bias, as we already predefined, it is minus 1.5. Then it will call perceptron model with all this value here. So it will come input vector, that is 0 and 1, weight 1, 1, bias 1.5. So it will carry out, it will compute the input function with the product of weight and input and add bias to it. And output will be given to the activation function, which will return the value either 0 or 1. Fine. Now, so when you pass, this is the output. Similarly, you can do it for the input 1, 1, that is test 2. Input 0, 0 is test 3 and in 1, 0 is test 4. So when you give here, this is just a printing, but here we are calling the function with different inputs, test 1, test 2, test 3 and test 4. So when the input is 0, 1, output is 0. When input is 1, 1, output is 1. Input is 0, 0, output is 0, and input is 1, 0, output is 0, right? This is a proper AND gate with a proper output. Is it fine? So this is a simple perceptron program which is implementing an AND gate. So whenever these binary values are given, it will give you the output as 0, 1, it will give you as 0, 1, 1, it will give you as 1, and 0, 0 will be 0, 1, 0 will be again 0. Is it fine? Now, if you look at this program, this is very simple program where we have not thought about how did we get the weights. We are not trained here. We are not trained of perceptron. We are directly given the weights and the bias. In the next slides, I want you all to see how the weights are updated. We need have an weight upgradation rule, which will give you the desired output. So let us look at the same program, but in a different perspective. Fine. So here we call it as implementation 2. Now here what we'll be doing is we'll be using an object-oriented approach. So before you start with the program, what you need to know, how many inputs are there. Why you need to know the inputs? Because according to the number of inputs, you will be creating your weight vector. Fine. Why? Because for one input, there is one weight. X1 has W1 as weight, X2 has W2 as weight. So number of inputs will decide the size of your weight vector. Now add 1 to the input size to include the bias, right? As we already seen in the previous example. So again, you define a class perceptron, right? The constructor, what we are doing, we are just creating a weight vector W. What is the size of W? It is the input size, that is number of inputs plus 1. Plus 1 is for what? Plus 1 is for bias. Is it clear? Now, again, here we have the same activation function, that is a step function. So we are defining an activation function. If x is greater than equal to 0, return 1, else return 0. Next, what we have is the prediction. Now, what we need a function to run an input through the perceptron and return an output. So this perceptron is our model. We give some input to it and we expect a output from it. So conventionally, we call this perceptron model as a prediction. What it does, given the input, it predicts the output. Now, add the bias into the input vector. We already know the role of bias. Then we can simply compute the inner product and apply the activation function. So this is what we are doing in the predict function. We are just giving an input, right? Now, we are creating the input vector, input function by taking the product of weight input and adding a bias to it. Then we are applying the output of this input function to the activation function. So output of input function, that is input function Z, is given to the activation function and it predicts the value A, the variable, the data stored in the variable A. So it returns A. This is a simple prediction. Fine. You create an input vector, right? You carry out the product of sum of the weight and the input. Whatever is the output, you apply an activation function to it and you can predict the output. That is written A, simple predict function. Because given an input, it gives you the class label. That is why we call it also as a prediction. Now, making the predictions learn rule. We change the weight vector, and the weight vector is a parameter to the perceptron, we already know. So what we need to keep changing it until we can correctly classify each of our inputs. With this intuition, what we need to write an update rule for our weight vector so that we can appropriately change it. Right? So delta W comes to help here, right? So we need to determine a good delta W, because what we want it to learn what is expected output. Now to learn it, we cannot change the input. Input is always constant, what is given, but we can always change the weights which we are associating with the inputs, right? Now, we need to define an error. How do we know it is trained or no? So we need to define an error. So what is error? Error is the difference between the desired output and the expect and what we got as an actual output. This is the desired output and this is the actual output. So difference between this is an error. This means what we expected this and what we got this. If it is not same, then this is an error. So when D and Y are same, that is both are 0 or both are 1, the error is 0. But if this is 1 and this is 0, output is minus, the error is -1. And if it is 1 and this is 0, then then the error is 1, right? So our main objective is what? To decrease that error so that we could predict the output what is desired, right? Now, we multiply this input to change the weight vector in proportion to the input. So now this is our weight updation rule here. So what we are using, we are updating our weight, taking into the consideration the error, the input and the eta. Now eta is nothing but the learning rate. So this is our weight update rule. Fine. Now eta here is a hyperparameter. If you remember in the previous lecture, we have talked about the hyperparameters, and this is also called as a learning rate. It is a scaling factor that determines how large the weight vector updates should be, like how large, but to what extent it should be updated. Now, why we call this as an hyperparameter? Because it is not learned by the perceptron. Remember, it is not learned by the perceptron. This is learned by the perceptron. Perceptron automatically updates the weight, but this is not learned by the perceptron. We give the value to it. So we select the parameter. Fine. Now, with the update rule in mind, we can create a function to keep applying this update rule until perceptrons can correctly classify all the inputs. So what we need to keep iterating through the training data until it is trained. So we have a set of training data, right? And that training data will be fed to the perceptron so that it can learn the output, but it will be fed to perceptron not only once, it will be fed to the perceptron number of times till it is trained. So one epoch is when perceptron has seen all the training data once. That means once the data is given to the perceptron for first time, it is one epoch. Again, if you give, it is second epoch. Again, if you give, it is third epoch. So usually learning algorithm is run for multiple epochs. Now, so looking at this thing now, again we update our constructor. So here the input size was there previously. Now what we are adding a learning rate and the epoch. So what we want, you want it to go 10 times. It want to do 10 times means you want perceptron to see the whole training data set 10 times. Now we create a weight vector, right? Input size plus one is for the bias, we already know. Initializing the number of epochs and initializing the learning rate. Now learning rate is a hyperparameter, we already seen this. Now next what we have is a prediction function which will predict the output. So we call this, we define a function fit, and what we are passing to it, we are passing the input, right? The input and the desired output, right? So we keep updating the weight. So now if you can just see how many times it is going to read the whole data set, is number of times it is going, the iterations, that is epochs, right? And then the output, the desired output vector what we have, it has to go through. Now how do you predict y? So you just call the predict function and you're passing the input to it, and then you're calculating. So we know how did we get the y. We had already the predict function. We had the predict function, right? Which took the input, right? Created the input function by taking the product of weight and input and adding a bias to it and then applying the activation function. Okay, fine. And then we calculate the error. Error is what we expected. We passed a desired output vector and what we got. And then we adjust the weight. Remember here you are adjusting the weight with the learning rate, error what we have calculated and the input. Is it fine? This is important, that's why I put it in bold. This is actual weight update rule. Now what we need next is the training data set. Now that we have perceptron coded, we can try to give it some training data and see if it works, right? So the easiest training data set what we are using is a training data for AND gate, the previous program what we already seen. So here is a set of inputs and outputs. So input is X, which is a vector with 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, right? And output is, desired output is again a vector with 0, 0, 0, 1 corresponding to this input. Same thing, the input. If it is 0, 0, output should be 0, right? If it is 0, 0, output should be 0. If it is 1, 0, output should be 0. So if it is 1, 0, output should be 0. If it is 0, 1, again output should be 0. So if it is 0, 1, output should be 0. And if it is 1, 1, output should be 1. You can just check it out. So this is what the training data for the AND gate along with the expected outcome output. Okay, training set always has an output associated with, like if you read this, what should be the output. Now what we do now, we create an object of the perceptron class by passing the size of input as 2. We have input size 2, x1 and x2, right? We pass it to the fit function which actually does the calculation, and now what we're doing here is we are printing the weights. Remember here I'm not printing the output, I'm printing here the weight because our main motto here is to check how the weights are updated. Fine. Now if you see the same program, you can see in the Jupyter notebook how it is coded. The class, activation function, predict function and the fit function which actually does the weight updation and it does the prediction. Activation function, fine. Now this is the training data set and the input and the expected output. What we are passing it to the fit function. X is this input vector and D is the desired output vector. And we are printing the perceptron weight. Now once the output, once you say print perceptron W, what it gives you -3. -3 is nothing but the bias. 2 is the weight associated with input x1 and 1 is a weight associated with the input x2. Fine. So we could calculate this weight vector. Now using this weights and this bias, you can train your neural network. So it will give you predict correct output whenever the data related to AND gate is given. I hope the thing is clear. This is the whole complete program. What I want is, now I want you all to modify this program so that it gives the output once the input is given for the AND gate. I hope the concept is clear both ways. First program was very simple, where we already had the weights and the bias. But in the second program, what we are doing, we are training it, we are updating the weights so that it can correctly classify the output given the inputs. Now, what I expect you all is, the assignment is, I have shown you all the program to implement AND gate. Now you are supposed to implement AND gate as well as the OR gate and submit the assignment on the Google Classroom. I'll be sharing you the code of Google Classroom with your class leader so that you all can submit it. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.